Garrett, frustration, I'm sure has to be the word that sums this one up. How do you bounce back?
You got to have a good week of practice. You got to go back and watch this film, figure out why we didn't win that game, because we had no excuse not to win that game, and make sure it doesn't happen again. We got to find a way to start coming out on top of games like that, and the only way to do that is to watch the film, break it down, and then go about our prep the right way.
A couple of weeks ago, you were having a tough time moving the ball. Now between the 20s, you had a 100-yard night, Allen had a 100-yard night, Brees had a 100-yard night, so the big weapons on this offense are now moving the ball. What do you take from that as a positive moving forward?
I don't really take nothing from it. We just got to finish, man. We got to, we can't leave it up to the kicker. We got to go score a touchdown. And the goal of this game is to score touchdowns. So, that's cool and all, but we ain't doing enough tonight. And we got to figure out why. When, like you said, between the 20s, all right, but that don't.
Yep.
That don't get us to win at the end of the day, So we got to figure out how to finish better.
Yeah, that was going to be my follow-up. 4 times you got to their 25-yard line or better, and take away the Hail Mary, only produce 1 touchdown. So in the condensed area of the field, what has to happen?
We got to be detailed. All of us got to be at our best when our best is required, when it matters most, me included. I got to finish that play in the red zone, and we got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. We got to stop. We just really got to be more detailed, and that'll take care of all those things I'm speaking of. We have a good team, and we have guys that can make plays, but when you're doing these little mess-ups here and there, especially when you get down to that part of the area, it just only gets harder. It's already hard enough down there, so we got to find a way to get points, not just points. We got to find a way to score touchdowns.
Here with Elijah Vera-Tucker, AVT. Feels like every week we're talking about this game or the Jets game coming down to the wire. How do you, as an offense, try to go about flipping it to where you're talking about a Jets win after the game?
Yeah, I feel like, we just got to, lock in, pay attention to the details, and, limit the penalties that hurt us, right, that push us back. I think that's pretty much it, especially for today. So, after this win, we got to go back, look at the tape. It's unacceptable, by all of us, and we got to go into Pittsburgh, get a dub, and start stacking them.
You talked about the penalties, 11 for both teams, but from the offense's perspective, what do you feel like is missing that needs to be corrected?
I don't know. I'd have to go and look at the tape for that. I have my personal opinions on some penalties. I'll save those for myself. But, at the end of the day, they called the penalties, so, set us back. And at the end of the day, we got to figure out a way to I guess counter those and get in the end zone.
Speaking of 2 trips inside the 5-yard line, only coming up with 3 points, what happens in the red zone in terms of details that needs to take this offense to the next level to put up 7 points as opposed to 3?
Yeah, again, I think I'd have to go look at the tape, really dive into that. I feel like I have answers, but right now I truly don't. As a whole offense and individually, I think we all got to go really dive into that tape, really evaluate, ourselves and our offensive style and see how we could build off of it,
With Todd Downing calling the plays, the offense started to put up some numbers today. What do you feel like clicked that's been missing the past couple games?
I think, just like I said before, little details, and I think this week, I think a lot of guys rallied around each other. With all the changes in the coaching staff, I think guys just wanted to play for each other, play for the coaches. So I think that had a lot to do with it. But then again, just attention to detail. Everybody locked in. And we got to find a way to finish these games.
Currently sitting at 2-4, could easily be 4-2. But how do you make sure that the negativity doesn't creep into the locker room and start to stack win after win?
Yeah, I think it's important for a lot of guys. Simply just kind of stay connected with one each other, stay connected within the building. You're going to hear a lot from, outside media, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it may be. So I think, the message is ignore all that noise. We could care less about that. We know what we have in the building. We know what we need to fix. It's just about going out there, getting it done. That's just what we need to do, plain and simple.
And then lastly, what do you think it says about this team going toe-to-toe with the division champs for the past 4 years?
I mean, we're familiar with the Bills, right? They got a good team. They got a good defense, good quarterback. So we got a lot of respect for them. But at the same time, it's like, we got to go back and look at our corrections and see what we could do to come back and win this game. It feels very close and in our grasp. So this one really hurts. So we got to go back and, like I said, look at the film and reevaluate ourselves.
Here with Jamie and Sherwood. Jamie, what was the message from Coach Ulbrich after tonight's game?
Just staying together, locking arms. It's a lot of stuff that we can build on. I feel like in past weeks, this is one of our best games on offense, and tonight I feel like as a defense we didn't play our best game. Not that we played a bad game, but there was definitely things that we could have done better to prevent them scoring, prevent them getting explosives. And his message was just staying together. Go back to work Wednesday and, get ready for next week. A lot of things that we can build on. And we're still a great team. Still a lot of football left in this season, and we can still accomplish everything that we want to.
I know it's obviously not the result you wanted, and it's probably not what you want to hear, but after everything this team went through this week and every kind of thing that the locker room has gone through, how proud are you of how this team kind of rallied and stayed in it up until the wire against one of the better teams in the NFL?
As you can see, like the last 3 weeks, this is what it's came down to. It's going to come down to this type of game every week. Every team's a good team in this league, and we did want it a lot. But again, like I said earlier, it was just a lot of mistakes that we made personally on defense, things that we could have done better. Offense did a great job. Tonight, I feel like as a defense, we just didn't help them enough. You know what I'm saying? We did have our good moments, we did have our bad moments, but in the end, you know what I'm saying? How I feel is defense wins championships. We just got to be better. As one of the players on defense, and my other teammates feel the same way. There's a lot of stuff that we could have did better, whether it's just coverage, spying the quarterback, tackling, just all the little things. But I'm still proud of everybody at the end of the day.
Now, obviously you haven't watched the tape in depth. You just named a couple, but what are some of those things on defense that you can work on this week as you look ahead to next week?
I can't speak for anybody particular, but for myself, there's just like a few plays that I can think of that I could have done better. There was a play later in the game, just late with my eyes and stuff, and they got a big gain on it. Spying the quarterback, just doing better jobs of keeping those quarterbacks that can run, change the game. Josh Allen does a great job with that. As you can see, that's what he did at the end of the game. But I just say just execute. It's all about the details, the little things in this league, precision, and that's what it came down to at the end of the day. We knew what we were supposed to do. We practice every day. We practice every week. We communicate amongst each other. We sit in the meeting rooms all day long. So, again, it's just about those little fine details, and that's what we're going to work on this week so we can play fast next week.
Last one for you. A lot of penalties across the board on both teams tonight. How do you fix those penalties going forward?
Honestly, you can't really fix the ones that happen in play, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a ref's decision, A lot of the calls that were called, like PI in the beginning of the game, personally, I feel like they weren't PI calls, but that's not under my control. That's not under the player's control. So the best thing you can do is just work on your technique, do the best you can do. Anything that happens before the snap is all mental, so it's all about focusing, just knowing what you got to do and just being in that moment. Don't think about what you got to do after the ball snap. It's just like being where your feet are and getting ready for that play.
It was just a matter of time before our offense got clicking. The O-line played great today, and we just got to execute better in the red zone. I feel like I should have scored. I know Garrett feels like he should have reeled the second one in, and we just had to finish it as an offense today. We didn't do that, so that's why we lost.
It's 3 straight games now. You guys have had a chance late in the game to take a lead and haven't been able to close it out. What do you think's been like the reoccurring thing?
I just feel like we got to lock in more and have better communication. I know me and Aaron had a miscommunication on one today, and at the end of the game that would have hit big for us. So, it sucks that, those plays are left out there. But, we had more than enough chances today. We had, I think, 4 times in the red zone that we should have came away with 7. It was just frustrating.
Reese, I'm sorry if you were asked this before, but how do you prevent this from feeling like it's getting late early? In terms of like you guys are 2-4 and the season's preventing the feeling like it's starting to slip away.
I don't feel like that at all. We still got everything in front of us that we want. So I ain't really too worried about it. We just got to go out and execute, with the people we have on our offense. And if the O-line plays like this every day, we shouldn't have any reason to, not be doing what we want to do on offense. Our defense plays great. They're going to get us the ball back, so I feel like we'll be fine. We're going to be in a good spot.
Is there anything you want to work on this week ahead?
We just got to finish, be more locked in the red zone. Like I said today, I felt like I should have scored. I got to make him miss one-on-one. Garrett feels like he should have reeled a touchdown in. So just, holding ourselves to the higher standard and always asking, what more can we do, because we can always do more.
Bruce, what was the feeling like at halftime after that touchdown, and then how were you guys not able to hold on to that moment?
It's a good feeling, but at the end of the day, you're still down 3. You got to come back out and execute. So, it's a good feeling in the moment, but after you go back in the locker room, it's like, all right, scratch that, 0-0, come out, got to play.
I feel like there was a flag on every play in the second half. Do you think that killed the momentum?
Not really, no. We still got into the red zone. Still, we're doing what we want to do on offense. We just got to execute better, and put the nail in the coffin.
Did you see any element of that Hail Mary, whether in real time or a replay?
I just knew with Aaron, we had, I think it was 27 seconds left, and I knew that if we got 2 chunk plays, and he was gonna, try for the Hail Mary, and when he throws the ball deep, you don't know what can happen. So I wasn't really surprised. It was a crazy play, but it doesn't matter if you lose a game.